Okay, we still have people coming in. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna split up into groups of 3. Actually, how many people are there? There's 11. So okay, so let's have D'Artagnan's trying to no code, no, just please join the link. All right, so all right, there's still a few people getting used to Zoom, so I'm just gonna wait a little bit. Any questions that you guys want to ask before? Any quick questions?
No, I just noticed how the tutorial that you sent for Git, it was backwards, not backwards, but it was just basically we created a repository in terminal versus creating one on GitHub, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Essentially, the same thing when it functionally is the same, but it might be confusing for those who are like, wait, why are we doing it one way versus another? But it's essentially the same thing. Once you create the repository, the workflow is the same. So in the tutorial, I had the initialized Git repository, and then I pushed that one up to GitHub. You guys are going to be using an easier way. I guess cloning it does make it a little bit easier. But that's only for the first time. So you never git init more than once. So you only initialize your repository once, and after that, it's all gravy. Good question. Any other questions? And it doesn't have to be about Git.
I will say I started the homework today, and I did the easier one, and I'm still kind of having a tough time with it. But I feel like I made pretty good headway today. But I just kind of wanted to know your thoughts on, I don't know, just like the easier homework versus the recommended homework. Like, I don't know, does it look bad, or is it like, well, you should be able to do the recommended homework by this week? Or like, I'm definitely going to try and do the harder one, but I'm having a pretty tough time with the easy one.
So we all start on different planes. So the reason that we have the recommended homework and the easier homework is that if people start at different places, then they don't have to feel like they're falling behind. So if you complete the easier one, then that's okay. But it's still due next Saturday, so don't forget that. Yeah. So you still have another 6 days to work on it. I would suggest that you just continue working on as much as possible. It is much better to complete the recommended, but again, if you can't, then there's always time to refactor it afterwards. I would just suggest doing as much as possible in the beginning of the curriculum as you can, just because it does ramp up really fast.
Right. Okay.
When's the website send up? Is that right? Downloading? Yes. So if someone can answer John's questions on there. All you guys have to do is download it, right? I'm sorry, when I refer to it, I'm referring to Zoom. I don't think there was anything else required, right?
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward.
Okay. Yeah, one thing that you guys are going to have to get used to is setup. There is a lot of setup. Setting up a development environment is a hassle, but we're working with so many different technologies with web development that it becomes overly cumbersome, even for computer science students. So when I was taking like CS classes, a lot of them were I found easier in a certain regard because you don't have to do a lot of setup. It's like, you set up your development environment using like Eclipse or some IDE for Java or C++. And from there, everything is just compiling inside of a single place. Not a lot of connections have to meet outside of the network. Whereas in web development, everything is connecting to one another. So now that everything's going towards IoT, though, it's changing a little bit. But coming out of here, that's just something that you're gonna have to get used to. So start practicing just installing things, getting used to doing a lot of research on your own. There's a lot of things that are gonna be technologies that you're gonna try and experiment with that might be in beta. Docs might not be that great, so you're gonna have to kind of fiddle around. A lot of fun experimenting, basically.
I made it.
There we go. Okay. Okay. So now we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So we have 12 other people besides me. So it's actually perfect. So we have 3 groups of 4. Michelle, are you in a car? Michelle? Someone's also bumping music. I don't know what that is. So if you guys aren't talking, if you could, just put yourselves on mute. Someone is playing music. Please put yourself on mute. Basics of technology, guys.
How do you?
That was John. All right. Michelle, are you in the car?
Yeah. Hello?
Hello? Yeah. Are you gonna have access to a computer by any chance soon?
I'm driving home right now, so hopefully if traffic allows me in the next like 15, 20 minutes.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. All right. Well, let's just see if we can start this up, and then maybe you can join someone.
Okay.
All right. So why don't we start off by going to groups? So we're gonna have Matt. I'm just gonna go from my screen left to right. So Matt, Michael, and D'Artagnan, you guys are all gonna be together. Michael, William, Peltzer. Then there's Matt Estrada, Michael William Peltzer, and D'Artagnan Bagby. You guys are all gonna be together. Michelle Kim, Michael Phillips, Diana Gatt, and Mike Yamato are going to be together. Frank, Eric, Alex, and Thomas are going to be together. And Saba, and who's the phone number? Someone's on a phone. So Saba, you're going to be with Matt, William, and D'Artagnan.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm sorry?
Sounds good.
Okay, great. So what we're going to do is learn how to properly use Git and also use the Git workflow when working at a company or any kind of project. So John, are you going to have access to a laptop? Or are you on a laptop right now? Oh, I put him on mute. Okay. Wait, John, are you going to have access to a laptop soon? Or are you on a laptop right now? Good times. All right, so I'm just going to assume that he doesn't have access. So Michael, Matt, and Saba, you guys are going to be developing, and John might not be pushing up. But I want you guys to all understand the concept. So everyone knows what groups they're in, right? Does anyone not know what group they're in?
Uh, it's myself, Mike, and Diana, and then who's the third person?
Michelle.
Okay.
Michelle's going to be joining a little bit later.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So Frank, Eric, Alex, Thomas, Saba, Matt, Michael, D'Artagnan. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. And then I'm going to go to GitHub. So I want you guys to all go on GitHub, whoever has access to GitHub right now. Can you guys all see my screen? Yeah, cool.
No.
I have no idea what you just said. What was that? Whoa. Wow, someone is a robot right now. All right. So I'm going to put John on mute again because I think that's distracting. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new repository, and we're going to imagine that we're at a company right now. So you guys are working at a company, and you guys are going to create a repository. So what happens is only one person per team is actually going to create that repo. So if we go back to your teams, let's see. Let's see, how do I go back to looking at everyone? Ah, here we go. So guy in the hat, what was your name again?
Me or Matt? I'm Michael.
You're Michael, the other guy in the hat.
I'm Michael William. There's two Michaels in here, so.
Okay. And who's the other guy with curly hair in the hat?
Looks like Matt.
That's Matt? Okay. So Matt, I want you to create a repository and name it whatever you want to name it. Diana, I want you to create a repository. Who's in the third group? And then I think it's Eric, someone Frank, Eric, Alex, and Thomas. Is that it? So then Frank, I want you to create the third repository. So there should be 3 different people creating 3 different repositories. Don't forget, when you go to github.com to create a repo, you just click on that plus button, click on new repository, or click on this new green button that says new repository. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes to do that. And make sure you guys initialize it with the README. Any questions about that before we start?
I just moved my car. I was at the coffee shop, so I just got back here.
Okay, excellent.
So what exactly are you telling us to do? I just came in the last second.
Okay, so right now you're not doing anything yet. You have a team. You know who's on your team?
I don't. I have no idea.
Okay, so you have so team members. Tell them who's on your team.
Michael William and then Matt. I think it's.
And Saba as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's this list of team members?
There's no list. We just listed. We just made them up right now because
Okay.
we're going to be working in temporary teams just for this review session.
Okay.
All right. After you guys are done making the repos, post into the chat. Oh, looks like Team Ramrod. God damn it. All right. So now that the repos are created, what you guys are going to do is you're going to add collaborators to your repo. So in order to add collaborators, what you're going to do is, so I'm just going to go to one of my curriculums. So here's one of my repos that I created. And this is, by the way, the post-grad curriculum. So if you guys ever wanted to see what the advanced stuff is going to look like after you graduate, you can look at this. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my repo, and I'm going to click on this little button over here, and it's going to say Settings. So you're going to go to Settings. Then you're going to go to Collaborators. And again, this is just for the owner of the repo. So the owner of the repo is the one that created the repos. And notice that I added all these people to my repo, right? So it's really simple. What you're gonna have to do as the owner of the repositories is you're gonna have to find out what your team members' GitHub usernames are and just start typing them into here. So Team Ramrod, if you have, or Topcat, whatever you are now, find what your usernames are for your team. Mike, the other teams of, let's see, it's Diana, and all of them. So just post it up there. Oh my God, Eric Hahn, you might want to change your GitHub username. Probably gonna be misconstrued by employers. Yeah, definitely need to change that one. Jesus. For right now, it's okay, but for next project onwards, create a new GitHub account and associate it correctly. Otherwise, you're guaranteed not to get a job.
I don't see what his username is. I feel like
MUS-TARD.
Oh.
Jeez.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
No. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes to do that.
So I'm on this screen with you. Am I supposed to close this screen and go to my GitHub account?
No.
Okay.
So again, we're just following the instructions I gave, which is the owners of the repos are going to be adding collaborators to the repositories. Now, once the invites are sent to collaborate on the repositories, make sure that you as the end users of the repository accept the invitations as well. And the easiest way for me to send out what the invite link is after I sent out an invite, I can actually just copy this and just paste it in. And just send it to whoever I need to send it to. And oh yeah, and this was the first time we set up, so everyone always has a tough time with Zoom the first time. And I'm like, oh, that's totally understandable. But next time we're gonna start directly on time. And notice that even if you're like a minute late, you're gonna lose out on a lot, and we won't go back. So make sure you guys show up on time next time onwards. Again, the first time, really difficult because you know, just Zoom has issues and all that stuff too, and it's difficult to set up.
I just didn't know the background noise would be so significant.
Yeah, if you can't tell, I'm also in LA, and someone probably just got shot.
If you were in Burbank, that siren would be for jaywalking. And there'd be air support too.
Excessive talking by one individual.
Yeah. Burbank's crazy.
Yeah.
I live in Burbank.
Yeah, so you know.
Actually, I like
two,
Burbank.
it's a nice city, but the cops are super, like, they're on it, dude.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
if you get stopped for speeding, there's always 2 cars that pull you over. You know, they're really on it, but they don't have any gangs over there, so, you know, I can't really fault them.
That's interesting.
But we do tell jokes about it. We see the air support, and we're like, oh, someone jaywalked in Burbank.
9 years in jail. All right. So a couple more minutes. Make sure that you guys have accepted the invitations to be collaborators. Once you've accepted, that is what you're going to be doing. So Thomas asked a good question. I just didn't want to step ahead, but yes, if you have already been added as a collaborator, go ahead and clone the repo. If you're the owner of the repo as well, clone the repo to your local machine.
Hey, Omar.
Hey.
Question. In regards to Git init initialize, is that only necessary if you're creating a repository straight from terminal?
Correct.
Okay.
If you're doing it from GitHub, it's actually doing that in the background through the user interface. So when you create a new repository, it's actually doing a Git init.
Hey, Omar, can I record this?
It's being recorded by me, but you can go ahead and record it as well.
Okay.
Yeah, totally feel free to record any of our sessions that are like review sessions and stuff.
Yeah, it's giving me a modal that says, please record permission from the meeting host.
Oh, well, don't worry about it then, because I already am recording.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me know when you guys are done with that. And also to build patience, I highly recommend painting. Bob Ross is awesome too. Patience and persistence really helps with coding and engineering.
I highly recommend having an autistic 8-year-old to build patience.
That is a lot of patience. That is commendable, man.
Yeah, I'm like patience Superman now.
That is cool.
Like I'll sit there and work on a problem for like 4 hours and it doesn't even bother me. I'm like, yeah, this is easy.
Wow. So I guess that's perspective, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely wasn't that patient, before like 4 or 5 years ago. It was a whole process.
And that's amazing to develop that, though. I guess being a dad can help with that.
Oh, yeah. He made me a better man, I'll tell you that.
That's really cool, man. It's good to hear. That's interesting.
Well, you know what's really interesting? I was telling somebody else this today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when my son was born, I had stopped competing and I was just teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, there's going to be a day when my son's 15 or 16 and he's going to be like, I don't care if you used to be a champion. I don't want to listen to you, blah, 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 right? And I said, you know what? I want to have a family album with pictures of me with medals and my son in my arms. So I can sit him down and show him that, and I had only been national champion a few times at the time. So I went back into competition because of my son and ended up winning a world championship.
Wow.
So that kid has been like the motivation for, my greatest achievements. So he's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in a way that's very it's very blessed that you have that, because not a lot of people have things that motivate them in such a way.
No, I feel lucky. I don't regret my son's autism. I feel lucky. He's amazing.
That's cool, man. That's interesting. I want to share that with the other instructors, actually. No mistakes, just happy accidents. I don't know if he's referring to you or just
Yeah.
the Bob Ross quote.
Well, you know, it's kind of funny because I was telling someone a while back, if an angel came down in front of me and said, "I can fix your kid," it would be the hardest decision of my life.
Interesting.
Because the child I have as he is the child I love.
Hmm.
You know, I would be like, well, for him, I would say yes, but it would be the biggest loss of my life.
I was reading over the class assignment for the positioning. For class, we reference dot, and ID, we reference hashtag, correct? Yes, that is correct. Okay. So, okay. So let's get back to it. So now what we're going to do is everyone have their repositories cloned to their local machine? Or does anyone not? I think that's a better question. Mike, so what is holding you back from copying to your local machine? Oh, John and Saba, please accept the invites.
I haven't seen anything. I've got you on my screen, and that's all I've got. I don't know how to, you know.
Did you see the chats? Are you looking at the chat box?
I am.
You can actually see if you go to gallery view, you can see everyone else as well.
I see everybody's face, but
yeah.
I just have your screen on my screen.
Yeah. John, did you go to your GitHub?
No.
It says Frank is asking you to do that.
Okay. I don't know how to get off this screen and go to my GitHub. It's fine. You know what? It's fine with me if I just watch what you guys are doing because I'm kind of comfortable with it already. But I don't want to hold everybody up because I've never had a meeting like this and I don't know how to get out of this screen.
You can escape. But it's okay. So yeah, let's move on. So then we can get through this. All right. So once you have the application on the local machines, you guys can all see my terminal, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm going to go to my projects, and let's just go to sample app. So let's say that you have this application now. It's on your local machine. It doesn't. You should only have README in there. So everyone should just have a README file. I added some other stuff. But now what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to all create a branch. So a branch allows you to start working on something by making a copy of master. Remember we mentioned master, the master branch?
Yeah.
So master is going to be a series of commits that are going to be clean. They're going to be your production level code. That should always be clean. It should never have any bugs in it. So what we're going to do is to create a branch, you're going to type in git branch, and each one of you guys is going to decide what task they're going to do. So in each group, you can have someone working on HTML, one person working on CSS, one working on JavaScript, and another person working on JavaScript as well. So maybe there's 2 people working on JavaScript. So what I'm going to have you do is decide amongst yourselves. So if you guys have 4 members, 2 people working on JavaScript, 1 working in HTML, 1 working on CSS. You don't have to actually code anything. You're just going to be pretend working on stuff. So in the chat box, decide amongst yourselves who's going to do what. It really doesn't matter. Yeah, so what Thomas mentioned. All right, so now everyone's done. Why don't we create our branches? So if you guys type in git branch in your terminals, what do you guys see?
Just master.
It should just say master. So what you're going to do is you're going to start working on the specific file that you assign yourself to, or the specific task, by going into a branch. So what happens is, if I type git branch, I'm on master, right? Shows me that I'm on master. It has a little asterisk next to it. And then what happens is, if I type out git branch now, and let's say that I wanted to write some JavaScript. So I'm gonna name the branch based on what tasks I want to complete, right? So it's gonna be a series of tasks, or it's gonna be a single larger task, and the branch is gonna be named after that task. So if I'm working on JavaScript, then it's gonna be JavaScript _changes. It's gonna be a single word separated by dashes or underscores. So I'm gonna create this branch, git branch, JavaScript changes. Notice that I don't see any feedback. That means something good probably happened. Again, terminal is not very receptive to good things happening. Now, if I hit git branch again though, notice that I see two things. So what do I see now? So Mike Yamato, what do I see?
Well, I don't know, what is that, a file, or is that, I guess, your branch and master?
Yes, so now I have two branches, right? These are both branches. So again, branches are a series of commits, okay? A branch just sounds really confusing, but essentially think of it as a tree on a branch, where master is the main stump. I don't know, what is it called?
The trunk and then the branches.
The trunk, there we go, thank you. So trunk is the master, but you think of it as it's basically just a branch, right? It's just a giant branch. And every branch off of that is going to be something that's copied off of it. So it's going to be an exact copy, but then you're going to merge it back into that master again. The end goal is to make changes, mess around with it on your testing branch, whatever it's called, and then merge that back into your master branch. So I'm going to do a command called git checkout, and this moves me from my current branch, which is why doesn't it give me names anymore? So Frank, or actually Dana, what branch am I on right now? Okay, this is like a radio show. It's like, oh, we lost the call.
I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure. I'm guessing master, but I'm not sure.
Okay, and master, and that is correct because it has the asterisk right next to master, right? Does everyone see this?
Yep.
So I'm highlighting master. It's because the asterisk is right next to master that I'm on that branch. Now, when I do git checkout, I'm going to do git checkout JavaScript _changes, and it says switch to branch JavaScript changes. Now, if I hit git branch, so Diana, now which branch am I on?
The JavaScript one.
Yes. And that's because it has a little asterisk next to it, and it's highlighted as well. So now I can start making changes. If I hit get status, it says on branch JavaScript changes, nothing to commit, working tree clean. So now what I want you guys to all do is I want you guys to start creating some changes on this branch. So those who created those working on JavaScript are going to be creating a single JavaScript file. They can add some JavaScript to it. Those doing CSS are going to be working on a CSS file. They can add some CSS to it. Those working on index.html file or any HTML file, they can add some HTML to it. It doesn't have to really make any sense right now. I'm just thinking about workflow rather than the actual code. So make sure you create a branch for that. So if you're working on HTML, it's going to be HTML changes, CSS changes, JavaScript changes. If there's two people working on different JavaScript changes, make sure you mention what type of JavaScript changes. You can make up whatever you want, like maybe adding some cat functionality, whatever you want, right? So JavaScript cat functionality is going to be the name of your branch. So you're going to create the branch. You're going to check it out, work in that branch, And then I want you to stage those changes. So git add -a, and then git commit -m, and then make sure you add the message. And once you're done with that, let me know. So I'll give you guys about, let's say 10 minutes to work on that. So I'll come back to you guys at 9:51. Go ahead and talk to each other as well.
Hey, Omar.
Yeah.
Earlier today, I was working on this, and I was using git add -m for, I guess, modifications. Is that okay?
I would definitely suggest doing git add -a because that will add your changes to staging. Git commit -m is for like, did you want to modify things in your staging?
I was practicing on another site for using Git,
Yeah.
and it was a scenario where you're changing the script of a play or something, and they were using git add -m to do modifications to the staging area before you commit.
Yeah, so if you need to modify some things in staging, that's a little bit more complicated. I don't want you guys to have to worry about that right now. It is cool to get more advanced in Git, but I want you guys to get like really familiarized with the basics of Git and Git workflow before you guys get into the advanced stuff. But that is good that you're starting to do some advanced stuff.
I didn't know if it was or not. I was just following the directions.
Yeah, yeah. If you're doing
I
some,
have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, so definitely get the basics down first before going to the advanced stuff, though. So he has until 9:51. Interesting. So Alex is taking it a step further, which is interesting. That's what I was going to actually have you guys do next. Yeah, if you guys can link your files to one another, then that can be good. Letting each other know what the name of the files are going to be.
Omar, do we do that before we commit or after we commit?
Either or. And if you guys are finished early, then start adding some real code to it too. See if you can challenge yourselves. Maybe you guys can even hack something together tonight.
Hey, Omar.
Yep.
So I followed all of the instructions that you said, and I made a I guess a branch, a CSS branch.
Mm-hmm.
So do I create a CSS file in that, and that's where I add the code?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, all right, just clarifying. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. No worries.
Hey, Omar.
Yep.
When we git push from our branch, are we git push origin master, or do we do?
No, so don't worry about pushing yet. If you are interested in getting ahead, you're going to be pushing your branches up. So it's going to be git push origin and the name of your branch.
Okay.
And then we're going to start working with pull requests. So basically, with this session, you guys should have everything you need to know about the basics of working at a company using Git. And also working with each other on projects using Git as well. Few minutes left. All right, 3 more minutes. Okay, and if you guys are done early, make sure you guys push up your code with your branches. Remember, before you can push up, you have to add and commit all your changes. Make sure you're not pushing up to master. You're just pushing up your changes that are in your current branch. To check what branch you're in, you're going to be using git branch with no arguments to the commands.
Hey, Omar.
Yep.
So for like as like a working professional, I guess, developer, will you never make changes to master? That'll just be like the place where all the clean code is put.
Correct.
Essentially. Okay.
Correct. You'll never be making changes directly to master.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Hey, Omar,
Yep.
question. So do we push the changes branch or the actual file?
You can't push the actual file, so you'll just be pushing the branch.
And the command for that is just git push and then the branch name?
Git push origin and then the name of the branch. Remember, origin represents the URL to what? And that's a question. So what does origin reference?
The repository.
Correct. The repository on?
GitHub.
Yes, that is correct. All right. So has anyone not been able to push up their changes to GitHub? All right, so to see the changes on GitHub, so to see the changes on GitHub, what you do is you go back to your repo and you click on branch, and you should see multiple branches there. Is everyone seeing that? Cool. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is, and again, before you can see that, you have to refresh the page. So in case you don't, you might want to refresh the page, and then you should be able to see them. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna submit a pull request. So each of you on your own team is going to create a pull request. So you go to this little tab that says pull request. Now a pull request is just a fancy word that says, hey, I want you to look at my code, see if it's good. If it's not good, give me some comments on why it's not, and then I'll make those changes and push them up to my branch again. If it is good, review it, and please merge those changes into master. So this is an extra security step to make sure that you're not, it's a workflow that says like, hey, I'm not pushing things directly into master after I made those changes in my branch. I want someone else to be accountable for it. Now, depending on the company, it could be, you know, any other software engineer, or it could be someone that's more senior that's gonna take a look at it. So it depends on who at the company, but it is gonna be another engineer looking at it. So to create a new pull request, it's really complicated. You have to click on a button that says new pull request. So I do that. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna compare the base. The base should always be master. And whatever your branch is, so let's say that you have a branch called curriculum structure, right? Oh shoot. Let me get this sample application so I can actually do something. So let me actually do what I wanted to do. So let me make some JavaScript changes. So blah.js, nope, that was wrong. So touch blah.js, add this change to, if I add something, what phase is it in terms of committing? So Thomas.
Staging. Correct.
And the question is, should we compare to the branch that we ourselves pushed up? Yes, that is correct. So what I'm going to do is first take you guys through it. So I'm going to say commit, and I'm going to say what changes I want to commit. So add in present tense, I'm going to say add single JavaScript file. From there, I'm going to do git, let's see, what's the branch name? Git push origin JavaScript changes. So hopefully this is what you guys have already done. Now if I take a look at my remote, I hit git remote -v. I just want to take a look at where my application is. Oh, it's just sample app. Okay. All right, so now notice that it actually says that I have these changes and I need to do a compare and pull request. So it's pretty intelligent the way the user interface works. But in case you guys don't have that, I just go to pull request and I'm gonna do, again, new pull request. And I'm gonna compare my base master against JavaScript changes. And I'm just gonna create pull request. And I'm gonna put whatever notes, created a blank JavaScript file. And this does accept Markdown, so you can write this in Markdown and see what it looks like. So this is what it looks like right now. And then I'm gonna hit create pull request. And it's as simple as that. It's really not that complicated because it's just clicking buttons, all it is. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add an assignee. So the assignee is gonna be the person I want to look at my application. And because I'm not working with anyone else, I'm just gonna assign myself. But what I want you guys to do is create the pull request and assign someone else on the team that didn't work on this file. So one person could be added to multiple pull requests, but hopefully there's enough people so that each person is working on different pull requests and is assigned to different pull requests. All right, so I'll give you guys about a few minutes to work on that.
Hey, Omar.
Yep.
Can we go back a little bit? I'm not sure. I think I did for the push for my branch. Is it just get push, or is there something else I need to do to say?
Get push origin and then the name of the branch.
Okay. All right. I'll do that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And again, please don't be afraid to ask questions. This stuff is tricky. So I want to definitely take it step by step.
Hey Omar, for the assignees, when we get assigned and we're checking and GitHub just says this branch has no conflicts with the base branch, can we just hit merge pull request?
No, do not merge yet.
Okay.
So merging, it should not have any conflicts yet, because you guys don't actually have any differences that would conflict with the existing branch right now. So that's what mine looks like right now as well. But that just means I'm able to merge. So if you guys are at that point now, what I want you to do is look at that person's changes. If they've actually made changes that would not break your application, then it's fine to merge. If there are some changes that might break the application, like they put in like some infinite loop or something, then maybe write a comment. To write a comment, it's actually fairly simple. You can write a comment over here, and then notify the person that you're submitting or asking to review your pull request. And if the person is being the reviewer, notify the person that asked you to do the review and send them that information via Slack. Omar, do you want us to wait before we merge the request from our team members? Yeah, so you don't have to wait anymore as long as it looks good to you. So let me do that now. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna merge the pull request. I look at the file. This is actually really cool. So this is the user interface for GitHub, and allows you to look at the diff. Again, how Git works is it runs something called a diff. And it's actually, diff just means difference. What was the difference between the previous state and the current state? So current state was these changes were made. So if I go to the pull request and I go to files changed, notice that it just says no changes, only that this file was added. So it's fairly simple. You guys might actually have some pluses to it, meaning that these changes were added to this specific file. So you can actually see what changes happen from commit to commit. So from here, I'm gonna hit merge pull request, confirm merge. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete this branch. Now, why am I gonna delete this branch?
Because you don't need it anymore?
I don't need it anymore. I made the changes that I needed to make, right? I added that file, it's complete. I want to merge it into master, so there's no need for me to have that branch on GitHub. Now, if I delete this branch from here, does it delete on my local machine as well?
No.
No, it only deletes from this GitHub repository, right? So in order for me to delete it from my branch as well, so I'm going to delete this branch, and all the changes that I made are now in master, right? So if I go back to the application, wow, Frank's team seems to be having fun. If you go to master, you now have blah.js. So those changes from the previous branch were merged in, and now the cycle is complete. All right, so once those changes are merged, now you're saying, okay, well, now how do I add additional changes? Now you just go through the cycle. So in order for you to first have these changes on your local machine, what do you think I need to do? And this is gonna be hard. So what do I need to do in order to have all the latest changes from master on my local machine?
Clone?
No, you do not clone. You only clone once.
Git pull.
Yes. Where do I git pull into?
Master?
Yes, exactly. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not in the master branch right now, right?
No.
How do I get into my master branch then?
Git branch master.
Close. It's okay not to memorize commands. So I want you guys to look up how to switch branches. Yes, git checkout. Excellent. So what's the full command for me to check out from which branch I'm on currently to master?
Would it be just git checkout master?
That is correct. So if I type in git checkout master, notice that it said switch to branch master. And now what do I need to do? So you guys already gave me the answer.
Would it be git pull origin master?
That is correct. So if I do git pull origin master, I get the latest changes. So blah.js is merged. And now what I do is I'm going to delete this JavaScript changes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in git branch -d space JavaScript changes. And what can you guys guess -d means?
Delete.
Yes. Deleted branch. Now, if I type in git branch, I only have master. So this is how you guys work with each other, right? And that's the entire workflow, essentially. Any questions?
So, and to put it in like layman's terms, like Git is like, oh gosh, how would I put this? So Git, so like a branch is like an envelope, and then we put our changes in that envelope. We push it up to like the central repository, and then we throw away the envelope after we've accepted all the changes, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And what was I going to do? I was going to send you guys something important. Oh, well, I forget too much. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop recording. Actually, do you guys have any more questions?
Nope.
Cool. So hopefully you guys got something out of this. Again, I recorded the whole thing. Zoom is actually also really cool. I have the ability to do remote control. So if you guys set up a one-on-one session, maybe like, at some point after class or something like that, if I have it available, I'm able to remotely control your computer. Pretty cool. All right. So if that's it, I hope you guys have a good night, and I'm gonna catch up on Game of Thrones now.
Oh, where can I get the video? Because I totally missed the last 5 minutes of your description.
What I'm gonna do is post it up on YouTube, and I'll just link it out.
All right, cool. Thank you.
All right, no worries. All right.
All right. Thanks, Omar. Bye.
No worries. Take care. Let's see. Stop it.